Well, there's a major breaking news coming in that there has been no evidence so far to suggest that the death of actor Sushant Singh Rajput's case, and we have a caller now, right now, CVR correspondent, Mr. Jagdish. Jagdish, over to you.
Sushant's family legal team has given a very important statement in this entire Sushant Singh death probe. Now the family is stressing that they've never looked into the angle or never stressed in the FIR of a drug angle. Certainly the family and any of the sisters and any of the family members are really not ready to face the narcotic questioning or the narcotic probe. Now, clearly indicating that the family is not keen that the CBI and the other investigative team does not really look into this drug angle. Was exactly Sushant Singh by any chance or by any ways was taking any sort of a drug, before his death. So certainly the family is now against the legal team, and the lawyer also is clearly told that in the FIR they haven't mentioned anything pertaining a drug angle of whether Sushant was actually used to any sort of drug earlier on, or right time was he taking any sort of drug, Ravina?
Right. Also, we can see that Sushant Singh Rajput's case, it is said that there is a repeat of Ayushi Talwar cases. They say that this case is compared to Ayushi Talwar's case. What do you have to say on this, Jagdish?
What happened in Ayushi Talwar's murder case, where Nipur and the family, Dr. Talwar's involvement is also raised there. Where the daughter was killed, a similar fate. This is also a death case. But only thing, the case was also investigated by the CBI team also, and there were evidences found inside the house when they dug open near the house some equipment. But here, the investigation is being done basing on certain facts given by people who were present there. Like Ria knew Sushant very well. More importantly, his flatmate also. And now, when the CBI is narrowed on something called a narcotic team also trying to probe. See, there are various teams involved in the investigation. It was the main SIT team formed in where the forensic team was there. The narcotic wing was involved. The enforcement director was also involved in this mysterious death.
Right.
Every team was looking into a different angle of the case. The financial angle, one was the health aspect. More importantly, now it's completely narrowed up to the narcotic team where it looked into a drug angle. Now the question arises when the narcotic team is willing to investigate in that manner and try to find out, like, was there Sushant was taking any sort of drugs when he died on 14th of June, before to that, or was he taking any drugs? Now that is something what the family also is trying to hide as if now. If there's nothing of that sort, then the family shouldn't object to this kind of angle. See, at the end of the day, the family wanted to know was Sushant murdered or was he killed?
Right.
So unless and until this particular angle is being probed, the facts of the matter, the facts of the case won't come out very clearly. What the CBI is been telling out, that now the family is directly objecting to face the narcotic kind of questioning of the probe, which in that angle they don't want them to probe. Avila?
Right, Jagdish, I would like to ask you, well, as of now, there were rumors coming in that Ria Chakraborty was given drugs to Sushant Singh Rajput and all, but suddenly, how come Sushant's family have changed the statement? Like, do you think the Bollywood, as Bollywood biggies are involved in this, do you think that any Bollywood biggies have scared these people? Because till now there were news coming in that Ria Chakraborty has been drugged, Sushant Singh Rajput has been drugged by Ria Chakraborty, right? And his brother, his father and everything. As of now, all the news came out regarding, against Ria Chakraborty, but suddenly, how come the family is against this drugs thing?
See, the family was okay with when the questions were raised whether Ria Chakraborty was taking drugs.
Exactly.
And any of the flatmates were taking drugs. But many of the parties which were conducted were held at the residence, and some of the family members were also there present at times. Clearly knew of what Sushant was up to. Certainly, a family member, being from the same family, they would be aware of what Sushant has been up to and what kind of people he was moving around.
Right.
So yes, now it was clear. Like earlier, Miranda, one of the closest, very close to Sushant, also was clearly told that he was supplying drugs to Ria's brother Shovik.
Right.
So now, since Shovik was taking drugs, it's clearly a bit evident that Sushant also might have been taken. We really don't know, but he might have also got used to it, because remember, Shovik was always present with Sushant.
Right.
Wherever he used to travel, his parties, and wherever they used to do outings. So not really allowing the probe agencies to look in this angle. It's something like the family is also trying to hide, and family is not coming out openly and speaking about this particular aspect. See, earlier, the family was okay when they're questioning Ria Chakravarti. The family was okay when they called in his cook, his flatmate, and other people from the Bollywood. So there were no questions, right? But now suddenly, when the probe agencies are looking at the drug angle, the family is really not happy or is going against that.
Exactly.
So
That is what my point is, Mr. Jagdish. These drug stings have started like 2-3 days before, right? That suddenly, how come Sushant Singh Rajput's family has now taken a step and have said it's not about drugs?
See, every aspect. See, what we just go back when the news broke up about Sushant Singh's death. There were numerous theories and questions being made around the Bollywood nexus. There's an insider-outsider angle which Sushant couldn't face, and he probably committed suicide. But as days progressed, it took a complete U-turn with the name of Ria Chakravarti figuring out, and all fingers being raised towards Ria Chakravarti. But once the case was under CBI, numerous angles are emerging here. Now, after questioning Ria Chakravarti for so many hours, grilling her and followed by his flatmate, the cook, now the Central Bureau team has narrowed on something called the drug angle as well. So once they get this drug angle questioning completely clear, other reports, what they're trying to ascertain, what they're trying to get it in terms of his postmortem and other reports, the health condition and what kind of tablets he used to take. All these things would clearly ascertain whether Sushant was actually used to take drugs or not. So once that is clear, then things would be clear, like was it a murder or was it a suicide? Sushant Singh Rajput death, Amila.
Right. Also, there were many people coming in front of the media and saying that Sushant Singh Rajput was murdered. It was not a suicide. But suddenly, do you think there was any other hesitation behind this step, Jagdish?
See, looking at what could have happened now, the CBI is not ruling out a murder angle. Neither is saying that it's a suicide. It's between both. So it can be a murder, it can be a suicide. What the CBI is pointing out, but as of now, it looks very sketchy because the investigations are going on in a smooth manner. One after the other, the angles the CBI is looking into. Was the financial angle? Was it due to any financial losses or lack of films in the lockdown that led into his death, or what was Ria involved in anything of abetting to suicide by giving him some drugs without the knowledge of his parents and other people, other members of the family? That was one more angle. Number 3 was out of depression or maybe something else, like all of a sudden Sushant committed suicide. So what happened there on the 14th, and when CBI recreated the complete scene, it was clearly looking like it was probably kind of a murder angle there, but the suicide angle also was not ruled out by the team who repeatedly visited his Bandra apartment and recreated the entire sequence of events on the 14th. So now the buck has already actually stopped at the narcotic team, then they will be looking at the involvement or intake of any sort of drug was there, and family clearly objecting to this kind of an angle, and the family lawyer also saying that in the FIR they haven't mentioned something called a drug angle, but they haven't mentioned, but the team was probing this entire case will certainly look into that angle as well to ascertain was there any intake of drugs by the late actor, Amina?
Yes, also Jagdish, I would like to ask you, Sushant Singh Rajput's ex-manager Disha was also murdered, as it is said by sources. Now, obviously there is a connection between Disha and Sushant Singh Rajput's case. So, do you think Disha was also onto drugs? And also, it was said that Sushant Singh Rajput was scared after Disha's murder or suicide.
Yeah, Disha, Sushant's manager died just 1 week, 10 days before Sushant's death, and her death actually might have pushed Sushant to some sort of a depression, because see, the manager was someone who used to look into this complete affairs of what were his projects and what were the films up to and what are the upcoming projects. It was her and who used to certainly to take care of his daily affairs. So once of passing of her,